All right, we have got a slew of stories from r/TIFU. So this is going to be fun. Let us jump into this fun episode, this TIFUN episode of the RR Show with your old pal Vince right now. Well, a user deleted their account, but this story, of course, is posted under r/TIFU, and the title is TIFU by getting caught relieving myself by the Google Street View car. This happened last year, but I think enough time has passed that I can talk about it. Last year, I was driving a long way to visit my parents, as I hadn't visited them for nearly a year. I was pretty sick at the time with some kind of stomach bug, but I still decided to go. It's a pretty long trip, so I had planned to take a stop during the trip for food and a restroom. So there I was, driving down a country road when I started to need to get the urge. But I ignored it for now and decided to stop when I found a convenient restroom. After driving for even longer, the urge was getting worse and worse and worse until it was extremely bad. I pulled over to check my phone to see how far away the next rest stop was. I don't remember how far it was, but I know it was further than I thought I could make it. So instead of risking it, trying to make it there, I instead decided to drop my pants and crap on the side of the road like the civilized person I am. So I got out, pooped my pants, popped a squat, and started doing my business. Without going into detail, I was there for quite a long while. Long enough that a car with Google branding drove past while I was there. That was maybe the worst moment of my life. Eventually, I finished up, got back in my car, and headed back to my parents. When I got there, I told them about it, to which my mom shared my embarrassment, and my dad just laughed at me. I kept checking Google Maps for a while to see if the images had gone up, but thankfully they hadn't. Until after a few months, they were there. Images of me having a shameful deuce on the side of the road. At least they blurred my face and my butt, though. I purposely left out all the information of where I was and where I was going because, surprisingly, I don't want people to find out where it is. But I guarantee someone will figure it out. So if that's your goal after reading this post, then good luck. And I'm using a throwaway account just in case, so I can't be linked to the pictures. So the next story, again from r/TIFU, from user Clever Names Are Taken 1. TIFU by accidentally having a framed picture of my electrician on my nightstand. Okay, so the story starts over a little over 2 years ago, on New Year's Eve 2022. I celebrated with a few of my closest friends and my best friend's cousin, and at the end of the night, we took a nice Polaroid photo. Turned out to be one of the last pictures I had of one of my friends before he passed. So I decided to put it in a nice picture frame to keep on my nightstand alongside a bigger picture of me and my girlfriend. In the photo itself, there's me, my girlfriend, my 3 best friends, and the aforementioned cousin. Now, I had nothing against the guy, he seemed nice enough. But I had met him like 3 times in total, so it didn't exactly feel appropriate to have a picture of him next to my pillow. Given that he was the last on the right in the photo, it was easy enough to just put the photo in the frame in such a way that he's entirely hidden behind it. Except the one time when she cleaned our room. My girlfriend moved the photo to the other side, so he was the only one sticking out of the frame. Because we're both mentally 12, we found the idea of having a framed photo of a random dude in our bedroom very funny. So it became a bit of a running joke for her to keep doing it when I wasn't expecting it. A few days ago, I needed to install a new lamp, and my best friend recommended his cousin. So the dude shows up to my house, and I show him to the bedroom, where I wanted the lamp installed. He comes in, we do a bit of small talk, and then suddenly, he goes kind of quiet. It is then that I realize that he's looking straight at my nightstand. the nightstand on which there is a framed picture of him. To make matters worse, I decided to give him an explanation, and since I thought the truth wasn't believable enough, I made one up on the spot. I told him that I put the picture there to remember what he looked like when I picked him up from the bus station, in a frame next to my bed, as one does. I don't think he bought it. He did his job and left like 6 days ago, and I can't stop thinking about what a dumbass I am. In this r/TIFU episode, our next story is coming from Dieter Meter Beater. That's the user. The title, TIFU by telling my kid's 3-year-old's friend not to aim the Nerf gun at people. So for once on this sub, this actually happened about 6 hours ago. Today, I just got out of the emergency room. My son and his friend, both 3 years old, were playing with the Nerf guns, and I told them whatever we do, we don't point these at people, especially people's face. They listened for a bit until this kid decided, I think it'd be funny to break the rules and shoot this guy in the face. So what does he do? He runs up to me, shoots me right in the face. Now, I've had plenty of injuries, but never by a Nerf gun. This dart hit me dead perfect right in my right eyeball while my eye was open. Instantly, I went 100% blind in my right eye. After a few minutes, I realized this was serious. So I went to urgent care. The doctor at urgent care looked more nervous than I did and immediately sent me to the ER. I get to the ER, spend 6 hours by the time I get out, but I did regain about 10% of my vision since then. And the docs say I should get it back within a few days, hopefully. But the docs also told me this is why you don't let kids play with Nerf guns. Touché, I guess. Wish me luck on my road to recovery. All right, here we go. In this r/TIFU episode, we're going to be doing one from Alkaline Arrow. TIFU by trusting my bank to listen to me and protect my money from scammers. So this wasn't actually today, but back in 2020 after I got married and had my first kid. In the summer of 2020, I was still in school and going into my senior year of college, and I got married at the beginning of the year and had my first kid a few weeks prior to this incident. I was working as a delivery driver and trying to find another stream of income. I decided to start tutoring online. I was getting my tutoring service off the ground, and a man reached out to me to tutor his son over the course of a couple of months. I asked for payment up front and was being sent a specific type of check that's meant to be coming from an education savings account. That pinged my scam radar to start being careful. I checked with the legitimacy of this type of check for starters, and he confirmed that they are rare, but yes, a real thing. This check was to the tune of $1,600, so I knew I had to be careful. Well, the check finally comes in the mail and I deposit it into the bank. I start to plan for the lessons and the first tutoring sessions. And a few days later, I get a message from the dad saying his son has COVID and he needs to cancel all the sessions and get his money back. Since I was prepared for this outcome, I call my bank. I get a hold of a representative and explain my suspicions of the check and it possibly being fraudulent. I explain that I want the funds from the check withheld from my account until the check has 100% cleared. The rep confidently assures me that the money will not show up in my account until the check has fully cleared. Over the course of the next 10 days, I tell him that I'm waiting for the check to clear and the money to be made available to provide the refund. Finally, after about 2 weeks from when I deposited the check, I see the money in my account. I figure this means that this wasn't a scam and there really is a poor kid that has COVID, and I send the money back to the dad. 2 days later, there's an additional $1,600 charge on my account. I call Larvest, the bank, and they state, oh yeah, that check didn't clear. The account it was from didn't have sufficient funds. No matter what I said, I was told there was nothing they could do since the check was marked NSF. So I went and reported the charge as fraudulent and gave the investigator everything I knew, including the information that I was told by the bank the money wouldn't be deposited without the check clearing. Well, the call recording couldn't be found, and I was left on the hook for the full $1,600. I obviously no longer bank there and will advise anyone that will listen to not bank with Larvest. All right, the final story in this r/TIFU episode comes from Thomas Clone THX 1139. TIFU, I calling the cops on my own surprise birthday party. So listen up, guys. Biggest bruh moment of my life just happened. Like the kind of big where you want to crawl in a hole and hide forever. I just got off my shift, tired as heck, just want to come home, shower, and crash. But as I pull up to my house, I see something real strange. Lights are on all over the place, and shadows moving around inside. Now I live alone, like completely solo. No roommates, nothing. So seeing this kind of freaked me out. My mind went to the worst places, burglars, squatters, maybe even something worse. Heart thumping like a drum solo, I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. Told the dispatcher there were intruders in my house. They'd send a car right away. While I wait outside, anxiety gnawing at me, a familiar car pulls up. It's Sarah, my best friend. Relief washes over me, but it's short-lived. 2 police officers emerge from the car behind her, guns drawn, faces grim. The next few minutes are a blur. Explanations, justifications, all falling on deaf ears. Turns out these silhouettes were my friends, throwing me a surprise birthday party. But here's the kicker. They borrowed my spare key without telling me. The cops, understandably, weren't thrilled. Borrowing a key without permission is, well, illegal. My friend ended up in handcuffs. The party was over before it even began. The aftermath of the disaster, my trust in friends is shattered. The thought of them rummaging through my belongings makes my skin crawl. And it gets worse. To feel safe again, I have to shell out thousands for new security doors and an alarm system. My friends, released but facing charges, are furious. They somehow think I'm the bad guy for calling the police for not playing along with their little scheme. So yeah, this surprise party turned into a nightmare, lost trust, financial strain, and strained friendships all around. All because my friends decided to break the law in the name of a good time. So thanks for being with us. The RR Show is a production of Evergreen Podcasts and Wessler Media. Now, if you'd be so kind, please follow or subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're feeling extra nice, you might as well leave a 5-star review. But for more, visit the website, rrshow.com. That is rrshow.com. I'm your host, Vince, and we'll see you next time here on The RR Show.